John. We have your answer in Health Check. Then a fundraising campaign in Robbinsdale that's already exceeded lofty expectations. But first, a New York Times bestseller that sparked debate in the Anoka-Hennepin School District. 12 News starts right now. A book on library shelves in the Anoka-Hennepin School District is raising objections among some parents.
A parents group is calling for the book Eleanor and Park to be banned. Reporter Sonia Goins explains why the book is causing so much controversy.
The book Eleanor and Park got rave reviews from the New York Times, but some parents in the Anoka-Hennepin School District don't want students to even open it.
I think it's kind of dumb, to be completely honest, because if people like it and it's actually getting people our age to read, you'd think that would be something that's wanted.
Eleanor and Park is about a teenage romance between a boy and a girl. It also deals with bullying and domestic violence. 5 media specialists in the district, including one at Champlin Park High, recommended the book for its summer reading program, but that didn't sit too well with the Parents Action League.
The parents objected to the profanity in the book, and they did not feel the story was appropriate for high school level students.
The parents group said it counted more than 200 obscenities in the book. On its webpage, the Parents Action League said, quote, "This book is littered with extreme profanity and age-inappropriate subject matter that should never be put in the hands and minds of minor children, much less promoted by educational institutions and staff we entrust to teach and protect our children." They're asking the district to pull the book.
We are working through the book challenge process. So whenever a parent or guardian or community member challenges a book, they fill out a form that goes to the school, and the school puts together a review committee.
Opponents of the Eleanor and Park book not only want the book removed from the shelves, they also want the librarians who suggested the book to be disciplined.
That would be private data, whether or not there would be discipline for a teacher, so I can't respond to that question.
What concerns me about PAL is that they made these choices, again, without talking to the professionals involved. I think they looked at every single word, but it's clear they didn't read the story.
The book controversy also created a firestorm on Twitter. One person said, "As someone who grew up fat and bullied in the Anoka-Hennepin School District, I know they need Eleanor and Park." Another said, "Having parents ban Eleanor and Park isn't going to stop teens from being exposed to profanity or much worse."
At this point, no decision has been made. A lot of people are jumping to the conclusion that we have banned the book, and that is not the case. The book remains in our libraries at this point.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The author of the book was supposed to make an appearance at Anoka-Hennepin schools, but the district says it had to cancel the visit due to a money issue. Meanwhile, it will be several weeks before a decision is made on the book challenge.
Should a church be able to locate on valuable land that could be the site of new businesses? That's the issue being considered in Brooklyn Park. Right now, this open land along Highway 610 and Zane Avenue is designated for commercial development, but a church recently approached Brooklyn Park about building on the site. The city says it's not opposed to religious institutions, but before any decisions are made about a church locating in a commercially zoned area, they're going to study the issue and take a look at current ordinances.
It's really the city's vision to have intense development in that area, and the church that we were speaking to was talking about a 1,000-seat sanctuary and 790 parking stalls. So that eats up a lot of land.
And officials say the open land along the 610 corridor is Brooklyn Park's last opportunity to generate new tax base with commercial development.
Brooklyn Center is moving forward with a plan that would reduce the levels of manganese currently found in the city's drinking water. The city council gave the go-ahead to a preliminary proposal to build a new $18 million water treatment plant. Guidelines from the Minnesota Department of Health determined that levels of manganese in Brooklyn Center's drinking water could pose a potential health risk, causing damage to the central nervous system. The city has taken steps to reduce levels of the natural element, but city officials believe building a new water treatment plant is the best long-term approach to the problem.
The Plymouth City Council will formally vote tonight on a new council member. Council members interviewed 8 applicants to fill a vacant seat. They unanimously chose Jim Prom, who ran unsuccessfully for City Council in 2008 and 2010. Prom will serve the remainder of Ginny Black's term, which runs through 2014. Black resigned after retiring from her job with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. She was Plymouth's longest-serving council member. Black represented Ward 4 for nearly 18 years. Well, there's nothing better than spending a warm fall day in one of Hennepin County's many parks.
Reporter Eric Nelson had the chance to do just that and discovered some interesting things about prairie restoration.
There isn't a time when the prairie isn't beautiful.
The tug of a prairie sky can be powerful.
So how many people here have never collected prairie seeds before?
It has a magnetic pull on those who love wide open space, colorful flowers, and fresh autumn air.
It's a very sacred time, actually. It's very quiet and beautiful, and I love the prairie plants.
Maria Duane was part of a volunteer group collecting prairie seeds.
You feel very free in an open space like this.
It was all part of a prairie restoration project.
By collecting these seeds, we can take them, we can create the seed mixes that we want for specific areas, and we can put them back out onto the prairie.
The goal for the volunteers today was to come up with 3 different kinds of seeds here on the prairie. One of them is called white prairie clover.
And this is the same as the gray-headed coneflower. You're just going to grab it and crush it.
It's a simple premise.
So you can see the little pieces of seed that are inside there.
Identify the flower, grab the seeds, and drop them in a bag. Prairie seed collection is orchestrated by the Three Rivers Park District and runs from August through October.
The great thing about prairies is that there's always something blooming. By having always something blooming, things become ripe at different times of the year.
So this is the white prairie clover.
Without volunteers, the tab for this seedy job would be approximately $50,000.
The environment and the air, the sky, it's a beautiful place to be.
However, they are glad to chip in because a day on the prairie is priceless and chock full of nature's snapshots.
I like the open sky. The colors are amazing all year round.
At Crowhassan Park, Eric Nelson, 12 News.
If you want to volunteer for prairie restoration, the next seed collection is on Tuesday, October 1st between 10:30 and 1:30. I think all of us at some point could use a little time on the prairie, don't you think?
It sounds very relaxing,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Well, is it too early to get a flu shot? Up next, why doctors say it's already time to battle the bug.
Then later in sports, it's a thriller as Champlin Park and Totino-Grace battle on the volleyball court.
But first, embrace the warmer weather while you can. The sun angle is actually identical right now to mid-March. The chefs at Travail could not only write a book about gourmet food, they probably could write one about raising money. Listen to this. Their goal was to raise $75,000 for their new Robbinsdale restaurant. Well, they did that in just 6 hours. As we went to air Tuesday, they've amassed $233,000 and counting via Kickstarter. Their initial fundraising goal was supposed to pay to furnish their new restaurant, which is expected to open in December. However, with all the extra funds, the Travail team is, of course, discussing other options, and that includes providing better health insurance for their employees and also setting up a nonprofit cooking school for disadvantaged teens.
That is a pretty good kickstart.
That is a good kickstart, you're right. Well, the flu season hasn't arrived just yet in Minnesota, but hospitals, clinics, and drugstores started urging people to get their flu vaccinations weeks ago.
But is there such a thing as getting a flu shot too early? In today's Health Check report, Delane Cleveland aims to find the answer.
Getting so big, man.
Today is checkup day for Katie Marsh's 8-month-old son, Emmett. This visit requires several vaccinations, and Marsh has opted for Emmett to get his first flu shot.
I am a nurse here at Hennepin, and I see how bad the flu can get, and it's not what a lot of people think, an upset stomach and stuff. People can get really sick.
Which is exactly why she's willing to endure Emmett's loud wails, all in the name of keeping him safe and healthy.
I'm front lines working in the hospital, so I'm more likely to bring things home too, so I would like my kids protected as soon as they can be.
In her mind, the earlier the flu shot is given, the better. Many local drugstores operate under the same theory, with signs displayed prominently since mid-August. Dr. Stacine Moroshek says there's a reason for that early push.
We never can predict when the flu season comes, and believe it or not, you can see flu at different times throughout the year, not just in the winter months. We've seen cases in September, we've seen them in May.
Yet even if the flu season peaks in the spring, she still recommends people get the vaccination once it's available because they usually last a full year.
If you're one of the families or the people that sort of vaccinate every year, you're going to have good protection. If you're somebody that maybe has only had a first-time vaccine, then it may not be as effective.
But she says it's still better than having no vaccine at all. Katie Marsh isn't taking any chances.
If I can give him a shot that even cuts down that percentage a little bit that he could get sick, I want to keep him safe.
For a health check, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Doctors say everyone should get a flu vaccine, but they especially recommend it for children older than 6 months and people who are elderly or have chronic health conditions. Well, coming up, an Elm Creek Elementary student's keys to a healthy life.
But first in sports, Wayzata's girls tennis team pulls off a rare feat at a tournament. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
We have a volleyball match that had a number of close games. This one could have maybe gone either way right up till the end. Huh?
If they play 10 times, maybe each team wins 5. Totino-Grace pulling a little bit of an upset, though, in this one. Champlin Park's volleyball team is off to a great start this season. Rebels were 10-1 coming into their match against a Totino-Grace club that had been up and down so far. It didn't look that way Monday night. Totino-Grace is on the right in the first set. Hope Schiller goes with a roll shot over the Rebels blockers for a point as the Eagles win the first 25-22. The second set is a thriller. Sophomore Olivia Cruiser tips the ball to the outside around the block as Grace pulls out a 27-25 win. After trailing big in the third, Champlin Park starts a huge rally. Hannah Crimwell gets a big block as the Rebels come alive to get back in it. That third set, another classic. Totino-Grace scrambles to keep the ball alive, but the Rebels won't be denied on their comeback. Maria Sampson hitting from the back row with the kill as Champlin Park wins 27-25, and they force a fourth game. Totino-Grace still plays a very solid match. Izzy Summers gets the kill on match point as Totino-Grace pulls out a 4-set win over Champlin Park. In prep tennis, Maple Grove hosted Totino-Grace at #1 singles. Miranda Nichols in the far court for Grace, Jillian Clausen for Grove. Clausen with the forehand winner. Later, Clausen taking the short ball and then finishes the point with a swinging volley winner, and she wins in straight sets. First doubles, Mandy Norn and Claire Schmidt for Grace, Jessica Berry and Selena Burnt for the Crimson. Norn with a nice forehand passing shot, a winner down the line. Berry at the net for the Crimson on this next point, and after a few whacks at it, gets the point for Maple Grove. Berry and Burnt take the match for the Crimson. At #2 singles, Anna Harlan for Grace, Anna Erzman for Maple Grove. Erzman with a nice lob shot winner for a point. And then Erzman will step up and crack a return winner, and she wins her match for the Crimson as Maple Grove has a little trouble this day. 3 singles, Rachel Zemansky for Grace, Rachel Ellingson for Maple Grove. Ellingson running it down, getting the cross-court winner. Maple Grove sweeps all 7 matches for the win over Totino-Grace. Wayzata's girls tennis team is coming off a great weekend. The 5th-ranked Trojans captured the title at the Edina tournament. Wayzata was back at practice Monday after winning the Edina tournament for the first time. In fact, it was just the second time that someone other than Edina has won the title. Trojans beat Blake, host Edina, and then Minnetonka to take the championship.
It was definitely really exciting. I mean, it was the first time we've ever beaten Edina in probably 16 years, so it's definitely a big thing.
Yeah, it was a blast. I had a really good time on Saturday. I was really proud of my team because we played Edina a couple times in the past 4 years that I've been on the team, so it was really fun to be able to finally win.
There's not much time to celebrate that win. The Trojans are playing Edina in a late conference match this afternoon. And Friday, they take on the top-ranked team in Class A, Breck. That's not such a bad thing to jump right back into tough matchups.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing because I feel like we have a lot of momentum now, so if we just keep pushing through the rest of the season, our team will do great.
Their Heritage Christian Academy boys soccer team came into Monday night's match with Rochester Lourdes boasting a 9-2 record. Eagles are looking to knock off the defending state Class A champions. Lourdes in purple, late first half. Joe Novak with a great crossing pass to Johnny Lawson, who heads it into the top corner of the Heritage net. Rochester leads at 1-0 at halftime. Second half, Lawson with some nice footwork gets himself free in front of the Heritage goal. He nets his second of the night, and it's 2-0 Lourdes. Good scoring chance for number 12 Tyler Prairie of Heritage, but Lourdes goalie Daniel Widsmere makes a diving stop on Prairie. Heritage did score once very late, but they fall in this one 2-1. Rochester Lourdes is the final. Champlin Park High School's Sidney McLain is one of the top prep boys soccer talents around, but you won't find him in a Rebels uniform this fall. He decided to forego his senior year of soccer to play for the Minnesota Thunder Academy club team. Jason Milillo profiled McLain for this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, and here's a clip from that story.
McLain admits he does miss high school soccer. The camaraderie, playing with his friends, representing his school, are things his club team can't offer.
I really miss that a lot because, you know, everybody gather up to come and watch a soccer game at school, and it's just fun to be in that environment.
But ultimately, McLain is at peace with his decision. He's content being a student at Champlin Park and confident that playing soccer for MTA will raise his game to the highest level possible.
And catch the rest of Sidney's story through Wednesday on Sports Jam at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. here on Channel 12. And his hope was that playing at the higher level, maybe get more notice from colleges. He wants to play collegiate soccer. He's got some talent.
Snapshot of the
Yes,
talent right there.
yeah.
Thanks, John. Still ahead, two of the most important things you can do in a day.
What they are and why a Maple Grove sixth grader is so passionate about them when we come back.
And finally, she not only has a key to the city, she has the keys to a healthy life.
Sixth grader Kylie Kasperick received the Brooklyn Park Mayor's Good Citizenship Award Monday night. She was recognized for her work promoting healthy eating and exercise. Kylie is a state ambassador for the National Football League's Fuel Up to Play 60 program, which encourages kids to eat healthy and exercise for 60 minutes a day.
And then the day that I became the ambassador, I was shocked because it was at training day at the Mall of America field, and it was amazing. So now I've gotten to go many different places and do many different things.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I'm the
That includes 3 visits to Washington, D.C. and a visit with Viking head coach Leslie Frazier. Kylie stays active as a competitive dancer, which she does 2.5 hours each day. And being a Fuel Up to Play 60 ambassador has its perks. It helped her school, Elm Creek Elementary, get a grant to buy a special smoothie machine.
All right.
Only
nice
healthy
one.
stuff goes in there, too.
That's right. Good ambassador.
That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner's coming up next.